Gundam Evolution is a team-based first-person shooter where you pilot mobile suits from the Gundam universe in objective-based arenas. Gundam Evolution was released on September 20th, 2022 on Steam and has experienced a rough start in the Western market, with wildly mixed reviews ranging from being viewed as the perfect Gundam game all the way to being nothing more than a shameless cash grab. After streaming 10 hours of gameplay and experiencing another 10 hours off stream, I can say the mixed reactions are well earned. So guys, for this first impressions, I want to say coming right out the gate, games like Overwatch 2, Apex Legends, PUBG, Gundam Evolution, they're not my style of game. I'm not really into any objective or round-based third or first-person shooter. I can't do the same thing over and over again. I make a small exception for some MOBA games. Some MOBAs I can tolerate for a while. I do not like reset progression. Basically starting out at nothing, and by the end of the match, you're at your peak, and I don't get round-based stuff. It's not for me. I just want to put that disclaimer out so you know where I'm coming from. If those are your preferred style of game, then listen up, because you might be surprised here. So my first talking point that I want to get out there is that the gameplay is fun and the gameplay is engaging. Again, if you like an Overwatch style game, this is definitely, I mean, just based off that, this is worth trying. It is a free-to-play game, and it's probably worth your time playing if you really, really like those style of games, as a lot of the abilities that you get per unit, per character that you pick are very interesting. Some of their like ultimate abilities also very interesting. Not really a like tank and DPS and healer and support kind of flow to the way that the heroes work. Games like Overwatch, you have different types of characters and you need them all to be successful. In this game, there are no types. It's just characters, and a lot of them have survivability. A lot of them have melee and ranged options. Some of them have stuns, some of them have heals, and it's a real mixed bag, which actually creates a very, very interesting environment where no one is the healer, no one is the tank, the damage dealer. There are characters who are more tanky or better at healing, but they're not put into a bubble like that. And I actually really like it. I didn't like it at first because it was too kind of unfamiliar, but the more I played it, the more I understood that team composition in a diversity of skills is more important than making sure this person is your tank and so on. You can swap your characters in between deaths too, so you can kind of try to counter and balance depending on the situation. So the makers of Gundam Evolution, they put the game forward as a fast-paced, team-based first-person shooter, objective-based game, and that fast-paced bit is not good for me. The game feels way too fast. It doesn't feel very impactful. At points, feel like you're just kind of rushing around, running around. It is exciting. There's definitely an exciting element to it, but for the theme, it feels kind of weird. It feels strange being in a mobile suit that's more flexible and it's faster than like a human would be if they were all humans instead of mechs. You don't get that sense of weight. You don't get that sense of being in a cockpit. So I would say for the theme, it doesn't feel good. I have to kind of forget that I'm playing a Gundam game because of the speed that the game feels like it's running at. And I'm a pretty big fan of games like Mech Warrior, Mech Commander, those kinds of things. And those, you know, your movement feels impactful. Where you aim matters, and you feel like you're piloting something. Where Gundam Evolution, the Gundam part of it is just flavor. It's just a skin, you know. You will not get an immersive Gundam experience here, in my opinion. There's different game modes like plant the bomb, capture the objective. It's a lot of objective-based stuff. You capture the point, it moves to another point. You have a tug of war. You're both fighting over positions and gaining experience of completion, and then that point moves around the map. So it does have some good game modes, very classic, kind of Halo-y feeling game modes. Nothing special, nothing new, but the basics are there, and that's good. It does not have a team deathmatch. It doesn't have any deathmatch style gameplay, and I found that to be very strange, as that seems to be the most simple gameplay to create just for people who just want to do it. Even if it wasn't done in an official sense, but just in like a custom game sense, that's a little weird. It's a little strange. The maps are quite underwhelming. They're very standard, very basic, by the numbers, one or two paths to do anything. They're not really exciting. They're not visually exciting. They're just kind of maps. And the combat is so quick. There's nothing to really experience map-wise. And it's the same assets used over and over again over different landscapes. Sometimes trying to find the objective, if you're new to the game, you'll be able to see the objective in the distance, but you have no idea how to get there, and you'll get caught in this like rat maze trying to get to the objective. Obviously, after you learn the maps, that's not really a big deal. They're just underwhelming. They're just nothing to write home about. It's a very much so you win some, you lose some kind of game, and I think this is every game of its type. If you're going against a pre-made group of people who are in communication with each other, you're going to get absolutely raffle stomped. Like you're done. There's nothing left. You're going to be pummeled into a paste. If it's two random teams of random people, who knows who will win? It seems like people who are willing to change their character to best fit the situation are more successful. And it did seem to me like there were certain mechs that came out on top at such a high percentage. Some balancing might be in order. The makers, the developers are very open about their development. They let you know pre-season what's going to be hit in the next one, what balances they're doing, what changes they're doing, and they're getting down into the micro. It's not just macro changes. It's not just reduce this guy's damage output by 20% and just smash him. It seems like it's a more very slow, gradual, like changing numbers little bit by little bit, which is cool. And they seem like they're willing to completely rework a character if they need to, or an ability. And that's good. That's very healthy. The game has one of the most impressive battle passes I've ever seen. If I would have made this video 5 years ago, I would have been like, a battle pass, money. We're in the modern state of gaming, so now I'm more about minimizing wallet damage more than I am at countering wallet damage. To me, the battle pass feels great. It's got your free track, it's got your premium track, $10 for the premium track. If you complete the battle pass in its entirety, you get what you put into it back, and that will pay for the next battle pass. So you can put in your $10, and if you play this game a lot, if it's like your main game or you at least plan on finishing the battle pass, it will pay for the next one. Presumably the next battle pass will have the same thing. You get to the very end, you will be able to pay for the next one. And you can kind of keep that $10, and you get enough tokens, you get enough of the capital, you get enough of that to unlock more characters. The game, when you start out, you have a quest line, a series of objectives to complete as a new player, and that gives you enough to unlock a character. So really, the characters are not paywalled very bad. You will unlock everything over time. The ones that are paywalled are not necessarily better than the free ones. You get way more free ones than paid ones. And even in the store for like skins and stuff, they do have a loot box system, which I am completely and utterly opposed to. You should never gamble. You should know dollars go in, specific item come out is the only thing I find acceptable. That's why I don't mind battle passes. You know what you're getting. Slot machine systems, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's predatory. It's awful. I will never say a good grain of positivity towards anything that is a gambling mechanic in the game. The game in and of itself is a bit content light. You will find yourself playing the same maps over and over again, the same kind of team compositions over and over again. There's only like variations of the same kind of objective, but really there's only two objectives. There's no like payload tug of war style stuff. There's no deathmatch, capture the flag, nothing like that. It does feel a little bit more repetitive than some other games, but I think that's just because it's so new and they did not launch with a ton of content. But it does look like they're putting out new content pretty regularly, and it looks like they're very dedicated to keeping this game going. Nothing to worry about the content moving forward, but at this current point in time, it is light. I already kind of touched on it. Mechs are unique and fun. That was my next talking point. They're just good. They're pretty interesting to look at, even in just the menus, and each of them have a pretty complex loadout of abilities. I guess there's a couple that might be considered a little simple, and it's hard to describe that appropriately. I don't think I could do it justice without going through each mech individually. I would say that Gundam Evolution is more enjoyable to me than Overwatch. And I can keep comparing it to Overwatch because that's just the only other game that I've played regularly that's like this. Is it better by a massive margin? No, because Overwatch has better maps, better graphics. It's a more complete game, obviously. But I would play this over that because this is more interesting to me and I find the characters more interesting. The game just needs polish. It just needs content and polish, which will come in time. Problem is the theme, right? Not everyone cares about Gundam. Most people don't give a shit about Gundam. So I think that's where it's kind of losing, and that's where Overwatch is winning, is that Overwatch is a universe no one gives a shit about. It's weird. No one knows what it is, so there's no culture around it. So it gained its culture, right? And now it has one. I don't know a ton of people who are like super stoked on Gundam. And those that are, really are. Gundam Evolution.
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
I wish to pilot the Dom Trooper. Upper HP packs. Okay. Ah, shit. Wrong button. Huh. There we go. Looks like decent spots. I really like this kind of slippery, slidey kind of... Ah, I wanted to go heal, but I was too slow. Ah. Got me. Bad, not bad. Gotta get a little better with the sprinting around and not getting stuck in corners. Okay, so now I can cannonball in there. Let's go, guys. Raw. Okay, they can't spawn there anymore, which is good. Good. I'll cheese the hell out of that. I'll cheese that all day, every day. Damn. Okay. Dumb. Very dumb of me to do that. Very dumb. I don't know what I was thinking. Yay! Team kill and neutralized. with 10 seconds remaining. Hell yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mission complete. Victory is ours.
Not bad.
Yeah, I never did revive anyone, did I? That was the whole point of playing him. I actually ended up having a lot of fun playing him, so I guess it's good. Ooh. Look at that golden skin. What a beast. My pros, cons, and conclusions about Gundam Evolution in 2023. Good monetization for a modern free-to-play game. Probably the best pro I could give a free-to-play game is that their monetization, not bad. I don't feel any pressure. They don't throw a bunch of stuff at your face. Yeah, it's a pretty relaxed monetization and good value by comparison to other games. The mech mechanics, unique and fun. Each character feels great, feels different, feels interesting. Supportive community who love the game. There is a very active and very supportive community, and they are awesome. Until you get to our first con, which our first con is while you're learning the game, the community can be toxic as hell. People asking you why you're not doing things, why are you lost, why aren't you here? And you get that in a lot of games, but I experienced it here. One of the most supportive communities and invested communities I've seen in a long time, but also probably the most toxic I've seen since I've played League of Legends, who are famously toxic, or were back in the day. So I don't know. It's very strange that one of my 3 pros and one of my 3 cons are basically the same thing. Run into the best and you run into the worst. Gameplay is too fast and sometimes it just feels button mashy. I like to get invested in a battle. I like getting invested in a conflict. I like to work with my teammates, and it kind of feels like everyone has to rush in, smash your buttons, see who survives. There's definitely some mechanics, like you can repair downed enemies and stuff. There's supportive aspects to the combat, but it's so fast that you rarely get to utilize those. And my final con is that the content is light and the assets that they use to build the maps in the game are underwhelming. Underwhelming levels, underwhelming assets, not a lot of polish. So, you know, kind of an ugly game. It can be ugly at times. In conclusion, if you like games like Overwatch 2, Gundam Evolution is worth checking out. Balancing and new content is coming. They are building, they are growing, but more people need to play the game to test those things out. Like it's hard to do balance as a developer if you don't have enough people playing. It's probably not a game that I'm going to continue playing, or I'll play it like just on occasion. But I'm very hopeful for this community. I'm hopeful for this game. It seems like it's going in a good place now, and I think a lot of people would get a lot of fun out of it. It is worth your time to try. It's free to play. It's a very quick drop in, do the tutorial, and you're good to go. So worth playing, worth checking out, in my opinion. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let me know in the comments what you think about Gundam Evolution if you've been playing it, if you plan on playing it. Let me know if this review or this first impression was helpful to you. And until the next one, have a good one.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!